two verses in Revelation 7, verse 9, and verse 17 of that same chapter.
Revelation 7, verse 9 and 17. Okay. Revelation 7, verse 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Then verse 17 says, For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them, and shall lead them unto living fountains of waters, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes.
My thought is that we're living in the judgment day time. It's apparent this great multitude is somewhere on the planet Earth right now, and God is going to feed them. And I got to thinking about Romans chapter 8, verse 28. That's what it says: God engineers the circumstances of your life, or because of all things. And I believe God is going to use to feed them through the internet. I'm trying to think of how He can connect with them. So I guess I'm saying that anything we can do to make that known to them, especially that's posted through the phone numbers, when the robocaller calls you, that's an opportunity to post a possibility of that person over in Pakistan or wherever it is, they may come up on the internet. And I just believe that God is engineering that to happen that way. I truly believe the internet is something that God done and not mankind, Bill Gates or somebody. But so I'm just tying that two together, because it says He will feed them, and in order for Him to reach them, He's going to have to skim around and listen to what is being said right in this room right now. And through the internet is a great way to do it.
Well, yeah, thank you.
Okay.
And you're correct.
Right.
That is God's plan. It's His program for this time to feed the sheep.
Thank you.
And how is He going to do it? Well, through the electronic medium. And not, yes, internet, and also phones. Phones are, they're really big. When you go overseas, and you can probably go to any country in the world, in Africa, in South America, and many people have phones, especially the young people. They have phones, and with your phone, someone was telling me they went to Sweden, and they had the e-Bible app, and through the app he was able to listen in Sweden, and that would apply in many places. And I'm sure there's even going to be more drastic changes as far as the ease of use for phones and things like that as we continue on. And keep in mind that I look back to the time when the Lord opened up His Word, and we began to realize, well, there's a set date for judgment, a day when God will stop saving, and we better get busy, and we better get the Word out. You can go back to 2004, 5, and 6, and yeah, Family Radio had a pretty big platform. But out in the world as a whole, it was maybe like a drop in a bucket. And I remember, I can specifically remember one individual kept coming up to me at the fellowship, not like this, but in private. And he would say, "Where's that great multitude? How the world hasn't heard. The world hasn't heard." And just, what I responded, and what the right response would be is, well, God said it, He'll do it. And then as time went on, it really was so magnified and mushroomed to an incredible degree that we've never seen anything like it. And anyone who thinks, well, it's because Family Radio had some funds and set up some billboards, well, those billboards, even though there was a few thousand, look at the world of 7 billion. And again, it's like a drop in a bucket. It wasn't just that. It had to be according to the will of God. And then once we got closer, around 2008, 9, 10, it really began to expand and to grow. and then the news media picked it up and everyone heard. So in other words, the point is that here we have another long period of time, and we, of course, we're going to do our best by God's grace as He moves in us to do so, to get the word out right now. We're not going to say, well, God's going to do this 10 years from now. We're going to do everything we can. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Lord just allowed it, to be out there, and maybe there's some growth, maybe whatever. But as we get closer and closer, and also I think it fits in with the whole idea that God could have saved many young people prior to May 21, maybe many small little children, babies who were in the womb, babies who were toddlers, and by 20, 28, 29, 30, they're going to be young adults, and they'll pass through puberty and everything, and we may see at that time, as the Lord opens up these things and the news media picks it up again, which I think we can expect, that the Lord can use the same process that He has developed, because He did open up the electronic medium for a time just as this, that He can use that same process to make it widely known, which would, instead of saving the lost sheep, it would serve to feed the sheep. And so, God's in control of that whole thing. And we might wonder, yes, there's elect all over the world, and how are they going to be fed? But just think, if someone's 8 years old and they're in their parents' home right now, and it's a Muslim parent, and it's probably for their sake best that they develop a little bit longer, let time pass a little longer, and then at the proper time, because they may even hear talk of the Word of God, the Bible, references in a Muslim home, and then at the proper time the Lord will come and He'll open up their understanding and feed them. But that's just one scenario, and God's in control, and who knows exactly how it's going to work out. But thank you for your question.